Man, how you doing today, man? Everything's good with you?
Yeah, I've recovered, man. I came off of the peach crown buzz that I had during that football game, and I'm feeling a little bit better now. Over the hangover, I've processed the loss a little bit more now, and yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, look, it's a tough loss, 4-2, but man, it was challenging. I think that everybody was hoping the Lions could overcome the injuries, but my goodness, the coaching staff of the Chiefs had them playing desperate, and you realize that they picked apart some of our weaknesses. And Patrick Mahomes and the combination of Mahomes, Andy Reid, and Steve Spagnuolo, that's formidable. And the Lions, there was the avalanche of things that happen when you lose. You didn't play your best game. You had a bunch of injuries, and unfortunately, things just didn't go their way with the officials and, trying trick plays at the 1 yard line. Just a lot of things that happened that combined together. There's no really one reason, but on that night, the Chiefs were better than the Lions.
I mean, I have to agree. I agree with that, but I do believe in the ebb and flow of a game, and I hate having to talk about referees. I was just talking about that because it's like I'm not going to complain about the referees. That's not really my style in it. But when the biggest plays in the game, you have to. It's an elephant in the room, and you actually just did an article on that. Where you were talking to TJ Lang about that catch. Tell me a little bit about that thought process. Did they get that call right?
Look, man, it's really complicated. It gets into the weeds there. Did Jared Goff actually declare himself as a quarterback in the position? Did he stop? Boomer Esiason seems to think that no, he didn't, which makes it so that, there's no real need to stop. But just based on the interpretation, I mean, a rules analyst came out. There's a lot of layers to the whole thing, too. A rules analyst came out and said that, look, just based on what he saw, Terry McCauley, you saw on the broadcast, they felt like it was an illegal motion. And you realized, okay, there's the other aspect, too, is that the officials maybe didn't see it right away. And so how in the heck does 90 seconds pass and nobody thinks to call it? Then all of a sudden, they drop the flag. So then the weird part that makes it so difficult to understand is then Dan Campbell comes out in the media and says that maybe he believed that it was a call from New York. Well, the officials after the game, they talked to the media and they said, no, nobody from outside made the decision. So there's a lot of confusion. First and foremost, let's just look at it from the first perspective. You got to take that rule out. It's a stupid rule. Like, let the quarterback go in motion. Who cares if he stops? That's a stupid rule, number one. And I just think that it was a beautifully designed play from the Lions. It was smart. Now, at that point in the game, I could argue at the 1 or 2 yard line, you just hand it to Gibbs and Montgomery and you pop. You don't need to get cute in that spot. Like, you have a rugged offensive line. So you don't need to see it, but it was an executed play. But the problem is, I do think that you have to kind of assume that if you're going to try a play like that, you have to understand all the facets of the rule. And I would even say if you're Jared Goff, you got to over accentuate, hey, that I did not declare myself a quarterback, because you're on the road. You're dealing with officials that always seem to interpret things really stupidly against the Lions. And I just feel like that's a great design play. But at the same token, you got to, stop. You got to declare yourself. You got, it's just too many, in my opinion, too many facets of it. I think that in the end, I feel like the officials I feel like they got the letter of the rule correctly, but I feel like they didn't call it. And so I feel like that play maybe should have went in the Lions' favor because of the fact that, hey, they didn't understand it. They didn't understand what was exactly going on. And I feel like somebody interfered that maybe wasn't supposed to happen in that manner. So it's unfortunate that it went that way, but in the end, they got 3 points. It cost them 4, but the Lions, even if they would have scored that touchdown, they would have went on to lose. Their defense just didn't play good enough. The defense didn't play good enough, and I feel like in that spot, literally in the end, I know the Lions love their trick plays. It's cute. It's fun. But at that spot, at the 1 or 2 yard line, just go ram it down the Chiefs' throat. You were doing that whole first drive. You set the tone with a 10-minute drive. I feel like it would have had some impact if the Lions would have punched it right in.
You know, there's part of me that is on that side with you. But there's also another part of me that says that you screw with the ebb and flow. Like if you go back to the first quarter and you say, okay, you didn't get the 4 points, but you still lost by 30. Like, no, it changes. Everything changes depending on what the score is. They call plays different. You know, you're in different situations. So it's like the outcome could have been completely different from that standpoint. And the idea that the part that hurts me so bad with this is because it was an awesome play that you just wiped out of existence like it didn't even happen because you decided 30 seconds after the play was over, after you round up all your buddies, and now you're telling me live here that I'm finding out that they didn't get a call from New York, that they just decided that down on the field in Arrowhead, right there in front of that home crowd. Man, we got to take this touchdown off the. What do we got, guys? Well, on page 600, under bylaw section 6, to me it hurts more that you took that awesome playoff. Whether the Lions would have won or lost, Jared Goff caught that ball and he beasted his way in there, and he's like, come on,
we're gonna bite a kneecap off.
He embodied the grit, and I don't know, that does something to you mentally.
Yeah, and Russell, it makes sense too. Like, how the heck officials don't remember all those 600 rules? There's no way. They're not smart enough to remember all that. That's no chance that off the top of their head they were like, oh yeah, quarterback's got to be in the T position, and did he? And That's a lot of reliance on these officials and trust. And I believe that somebody they got the call right, probably. But in the end, the procedure in which it was called left a lot of confusion and a lot of people upset. And it sucks because, man, Jared Goff fought too to get that touchdown, and he's got some hands.